AITA for letting my sister go thirsty through an entire meal? My sister does this thing where she'll just say something she wants with the expectation that someone will do it for her. For example, if she wants the AC turned on, instead of asking someone to turn it on for her, she'll keep repeating things like, "Oh, isn't it super warm in here? Does anyone else feel really hot?" Or, "I heard that today is a super hot day." And if someone asks her if she wants the AC on, she'll reply with, No, I'm good. But if you're hot, then you should turn it on." Anyways, last weekend it was my birthday, so my family and I went out to celebrate. During the meal, she kept making comments implying that she wanted another cocktail, but wouldn't order it. The waitress even came by and asked if we needed anything, but she didn't order a drink even when we all did. I could tell she was agitated at that point, but it was my birthday, so I just ignored her. When we all got home, she got really snippy and said that it was super rude that we all got our own drinks and didn't order one for her. My brother and I brought up that she said no when the waitress asked, but she said that wasn't the issue. In her opinion, we should have known to order her a drink too because everyone else got one, and the fact that we let her go thirsty was inconsiderate, and that in the future, we ought to order her drinks too. She also said that she was only saying no to the waitress because her family should have taken care of her words, not mine. The three of us have been kind of arguing back and forth about it, and I'm just tired of fighting, so I wanted to get some more opinions on whether or not I should have ordered her a drink as well. My mother does this. It's annoying. She'll get in the car and ask, "Do you want coffee, Elbow Pit?" I'll say no, but we can stop at Java Jack's on our way if you want. "Not a problem," she'll say. "No, not if nobody wants any." I used to just do whatever she implied she wanted, but I eventually got annoyed with it and stopped accommodating the passivity. Now she thinks I don't care about her, but she's too passive to announce it. Edit to say, NTA. This sounds like your mother wants something but doesn't want to inconvenience other people. Girls of our mother's generation were brought up to be people pleasers. OP's sister, on the other hand, wants to be served. Everyone else ordered a drink. She could have also joined that order and instead said no, which is super odd behavior. I recall learning that there is an ask versus offer culture. Typically, this is learned and associated with areas. For example, I noticed this more commonly in certain areas of the Deep South and then parts of the Midwest versus the East Coast. But I notice it also appears in people who feel like they don't deserve to directly ask. But if help is offered, it was the offerer's choice. My mother is this way. Instead of asking, "Could you get the box down from there for me, please?" she will make comments like, "That box is so high up, I just can't reach it." I brought it up to her, and she pondered and admitted she didn't feel confident enough or worthy enough to ask directly. I explained that she is worthy, and sometimes fishing for an offer can come off as passive-aggressive and rude to others. She said she was sort of taught to do that, but wasn't fully sure when she developed the habit. Your sister tends to have an aspect of entitlement to her, though. NTA, how old is she? If she's under 5, she gets a pass, and you can explain to her she needs to use her words. If she's older than that, just ignore her hinting, and eventually she'll start communicating to get what she needs. Do not ever give in to her on her irritating suggestion habit ever again. NTA, your sister's a tool. My 9-year-old and 6-year-old have been taught their entire lives to ask a polite, direct question for what they want, and to also say thank you when they receive what they want. If your sister, at her big age, hasn't figured out communication yet, it is not your job to teach her. Best of luck, OP. I hope you have many other things to enjoy, and don't have to deal with Lil Miss hint but never ask very often. NTA, I would handle this one of 2 ways. Do not ever do anything for her. Or malicious compliance. She's got blast the air conditioner and place a fan directly in front of her on full blast. She's joining in for dinner at a restaurant. Order her food and drink for her, not something she would normally order for herself. Since it's your responsibility to take care of her as family, do not allow her to speak to the waitstaff at all. Continuously maliciously comply with her expectations until she's sick of it and has a tantrum. Then remind her of what she said she wanted, and that if she wants to be treated like an adult, then she will be expected to act like one and order her own shit and turn on or off the air conditioner or heat. If she wants to act like she's a toddler or mute, then she has no place to complain when treated as such. She doesn't get to have it both ways. She sounds exhausting. And a third option would be to simply stop inviting her to anything. Why include someone who is so high maintenance in anything that can be avoided? Let others deal with her weird behavior. NTA. This would make a great cross-post to our entitled people because your sister fits the bill. The waitress asked everyone the same question. Assuming your sister is a reasonably competent adult, she needs to take care of her needs or wants herself instead of expecting everyone to intuit them like she's a toddler. And y'all don't need to argue about it. Just tell her how it is. Do it yourself or do without. It doesn't matter if she agrees with you or not. If she's old enough to drink, She's old enough to clearly state what she needs and, for that matter, do what it takes to get them met. Tossing vague wishes out and expecting everyone to scramble to figure it out for her? Nope. Right out of that nonsense. NTA. This is a case of the only way to win is to not play. I would make it very clear to her that you're no longer accepting hints or passive aggression. If she's hot, she need to take off layers. Return the AC if she wants a drink. She needs to order it, get it herself. You will no longer be catering to this nonsense. Then never do anything unless she uses her big girl words and asks you directly. And even then, say no when reasonable. For example, if you're both lounging on the couch and she asks you to turn on AC, you can say I'm good, but you can. My friend has a comment that I steal from time to time. We are clever, not clairvoyant in this house. If you want something, speak up. I will not be reading your mind. His daughters hated it for about a year until they got used to it. At the time, they were about 6 or 7 and pulling the same BS your sister was. At least they can claim youth origins. Once, when I was like 20 and living with my mom, I came home from work and she asked me, "Did you bring me any food?" I said I didn't stop on the way home. I didn't even get myself food. Her reply was, "I guess I'll just starve then." So it was similar to what your sister does. I smiled and said, "Okay," and went to my room. A few minutes later, she knocked on my door, apologized, and asked if I would please go pick up food. Said absolutely, and went and got us Carl's Jr. You are NTA for expecting an adult to use her words. She should not expect you to take care of her on your birthday. That's just disrespectful. Your sister is an adult. She can order her own drinks. She can and should directly ask for what she wants, instead of engaging in passive-aggressive nonsense and expecting someone else to do everything for her. How does your sister function in everyday life if she's this incapable of directly asking for what she needs? NTA. Sis sounds like a lot of work. Everyone should keep ignoring her hints until she finally figures it out. Your sister is lucky she's not my sister because I would order for her. Very odd things like rose hip but with maple syrup for sweetener, tomato juice with 3 lime wedges, large Coke with 1 ice cube, prune juice if you have. She needs the fiber. I wouldn't overrule her order, but if she expects me to do it, then ta-da, it's done. Very hot inside, lower the thermostat by 2 degrees. Don't want her to get chilly. If she's old enough to drink, she's old enough to order for herself or to take whatever I think she wants. Just be like sis from the both of us. We are very sorry for not reading your mind and setting proper expectations for restaurant behavior. In the future, if you want that drink, food utensil, etc., you will need to either ask the waitstaff for said item or verbally ask one of us to do the talking. Why your sister expects her whole family to just read her mind like that is beyond my comprehension. NTA. NTA. Never ever give in to her passive-aggressive bullshit, no matter if it's your birthday or not. She learned this from somewhere. Does an older family member pull the same crap? Is she the baby of the family? Regardless, you all need to agree to let her know from now on, no one is going to get her hints. If she wants something, she needs to ask for it, directly, with her big girl words. If she's old enough for cocktails, she's old enough to order her own. I wondered if your sister has severe anxiety issues around asking for things. But seeing as she's also unwilling to do even small things for herself at home, and that she's willing to be confrontational and start a fight when she doesn't get catered to, I don't think that's the issue. Either way, it's her responsibility to handle her own issues, including temperature and letting a waitress know what she wants, not yours. I mean, look, asking grown-ups for things is super scary when you're 4, so give your sister a break. Oh, what she's not 4, but instead a fully functioning adult? If my sister did this every time, I'd be like, use your words. But seriously though, WTF, not only is she too lazy to do things for herself, she's such a special little princess you have to just know what she wants and bring it to her. Yeah, I'd be informing her I refuse to tolerate this behavior and I will always ignore it. NTA. How old is your sister? Is she aware that people can't read minds? Also, is she aware that her passive-aggressive constant mentioning of something she prefers is rude AF? I'm hot. I'm gonna turn down the AC. You good with that? Yes, please. I would like another drink. Yes. No, I don't like these guys at all. I don't see why you listen to them. X podcast is so much better. But seriously, this podcast sucks. X podcast, the hosts are blah, blah, blah. Not like this podcast, where blah, blah, blah. I don't get how you can listen to this. This podcast is so much better. X sounds so good, but we should eat what you want. I don't care. But X is so much better than where you want to go. Don't you think? They are just superior. But we can go to your place. It's fine. I very intentionally ignore people like this. How am I supposed to know what you want if you don't say so? That's stupid. Just say what you want. Your opinion. WTF ever, just effing say it because I'm not doing this. Ever. What age is everybody? Were there any grown-ups at the table? Does your sister have any idea she has a problem? Keep ignoring her passive-aggressive hints until she changes her behavior. If you continue to cater to her, she'll continue her weird behavior. Good for you for starting to break the cycle. Obviously, Entei, her behavior is just bad and rude and weird. But any chance she's gotten on Tradwife social media? Like, some of them think you don't order and others should do it for you because you're the princess or whatever. In reality, you just wind up being a passive-aggressive, rude person who imposes on others and doesn't get what you want. But it kinda sounds like she's trying it out, only instead of expecting her husband to order, she's looking to her siblings to treat her this way. Creepy. Just a thought. She is adult, let her do her own work. Or, if she again tries to hint Sharon would love another cocktail, you and others can do something similar. Like, 1K of TT says, sure would love another roll, and another says that dessert really looks good. And then, each of you stares really meaningfully at her. Don't get her cocktail. Maybe she will stop doing feijes. If she expects the family to buy her drinks for her, she should buy the desserts or whatever for the family. Maybe she will stop doing feijes if you do it consistently. Do feijes whenever she asks for something. And even if, after dinner, she goes on about how rude it was for her family not to take care of her, you all could say, well, I was waiting for you to order my dessert. Why didn't you? NTA. I would have just told the waitress, oh, my sister said she wants a drink, and let her actually say what she wants. If she's having trouble speaking up and asking for things, she should at least be able to ask for help and getting comfortable with that. Her behavior can be seen as manipulative and a red flag in a lot of relationships. How does she ask her partner for things if she wants them? Does she also follow up with, well, you should have known I was hungry because I said, wow, I haven't eaten in a while. Can people read her mind? If not, she needs to fucking say what she needs and ask for it. NTA. Your sister has passive-aggressive control issues. If she doesn't ask someone to do something, then she isn't beholden to them when they do that thing. Therefore, she doesn't owe them thanks or a reciprocal action. I didn't ask them. They did it on their own is her reasoning excuse. Stop arguing with her. Keep not doing things for her because she makes a general comment. As long as someone, anyone, responds by doing what she wants done, but hasn't actually requested to have done, she's been rewarded for her behavior, i.e. emotional games. Stop playing her games. My ex was like that, and I ripped him a new one in public when he tried that on our 6-year-old daughter in public. He never did that again in my presence. If you're grown enough to drink, you're grown enough to order your own drink. Your sister plays games and says no, or don't put yourself out when she means yes, and please get X thing for me. Say what you mean what you say. There is an AH here. It is not you. It is not your brother. NTA, but it's clear to me that you sister either needs therapy, because this could be a weird mental health thing where she's anxious about taking up space, or she's massively entitled. Based on how you say she mentions the AC with, I'm not hot, but if you should turn it on, leads me to the former idea. But the mention that she thinks family needs to take care of her leads me potentially to the latter idea. But yeah, regardless. NTA, your sister is an adult and can presumably take care of herself and her own needs. NTA, really from the information provided, I mean, if she has some sort of social hang-up or anxiety, she should have a chat with you guys. I used to have a really bad stutter that acts up during blood pressure rises. I also have social issues. Add anxiety to a light stutter, and it gets really big. My family and I have talked. They've asked what I need, and I've been open with them. If I need help because I don't feel able to speak, they jump in. But this was all discussed ahead of time and how they could support me while I address my issues. Your sister is either in a shame phase or is a giant entitled jerk. I can't really say which. It is based on this, but her, oh no, I'm fine, but if you're hot, etc. comment makes me wonder if this isn't something more than being a princess. Also, using the family to take care of me line sounds more like she needed actual care and assistance than catering. Maybe I'll get downvoted, but this is at least another possibility to the issue. TA. Unless she's a literal child, in which case she shouldn't be drinking, she can order her own damn drink. Her passive-aggressive refusal to ask for what she wants is no one's problem but her own, especially since she's clearly capable of vocally complaining about it after the fact, which rules out her being too cowed by emotional issues or past trauma to simply ask for what she wants, which still wouldn't make you TA, but would at least explain her reluctance to express her needs directly. I am genuinely just curious as to why she does this. I partially get the AC thing, it affects everyone else in the room, so teasing out whether or not whoever else is there wants on somewhat makes sense. What doesn't make sense to me is that she then asks the other person to turn it on. That is odd. Also, why does she feel like she can't order a drink for herself? Was it that she wasn't the one paying and she didn't want to directly ask for someone else to buy it for her? Or she really just doesn't like doing things for herself? If anybody knows someone like this in real life, or has known someone like this, I would like some insight into what would cause this behavior. Like, what sort of belief systems does one need to have in place? What cognitive distortions? Arrested development. Clearly NTA, but I am very intrigued by OP's sister's behavior and what causes it. It is so strange and unusual, it goes against logic entirely.
Thank you for watching. Write comments, put likes. Do not forget to watching other videos.